All right, let's dive into a simple but honestly pretty powerful social strategy called the ISO play. This is designed for literally anyone who finds big, crowded rooms a little bit daunting. And you know what? It might just change the way you think about socializing for good.
So picture this. You're at a party, maybe a networking event, some big get together. The air is just buzzing with chatter and laughter. And where are you? You kind of feel like you're on this tiny little island, completely surrounded by an ocean of noise. If that sounds even remotely familiar, trust me, you are not alone. And look, there's a really good reason for that feeling. Trying to navigate a huge group is, well, it's exhausting. You're trying to keep track of a bunch of different conversations, figure out the perfect moment to jump in, all while feeling this pressure to be on. Let's be real, it can be way more draining than it is fun. So what if the goal wasn't about becoming the life of the party? What if you didn't have to talk to every single person in the room? What if, instead of trying to win this impossible game, you just changed the rules to something a whole lot more focused and, frankly, a lot more rewarding? And this is exactly where we introduce the ISO play. Now, the name actually comes from sports like basketball, where a team will isolate one of its players against a single defender to give them the best shot. We're going to borrow that same exact logic for a social setting. The whole strategy has two simple but kind of brilliant parts. First, you've got to identify your target, an easy defender. And don't worry, we'll get to what that means in a sec. And second, you just shift your entire goal to focus on making a single one-on-one connection, basically ignoring the rest of the room for a minute. Okay, so how do you actually put this into practice? Well, the first step of any good play is knowing where to look. Let's get into the playbook. Part 1 is all about spotting your target, the easy defender. Now, this isn't about finding someone weak or anything like that. It's about finding someone who's receptive. So you're going to look for the person who's also kind of flying solo. Maybe they're checking out the art on the walls or just hanging out near the snacks. They're often on the fringe of a bigger group, listening but not really talking. And here's the most important part. They are probably feeling the exact same way you are, which makes them the absolute perfect person to connect with. So you scan the room, you've identified a potential target. Now what? Time for the crucial second part of the playbook, actually making that connection. How do you go from just quietly observing to having a real conversation? The good news is, it's way simpler than you might think. First things first, forget about needing some perfect, witty opening line. Just walk over calmly, maybe offer a small, friendly smile, and make a super simple observation about something you're both experiencing. This music is great. Or, have you tried these little cheese things? That's it. The key is to then focus entirely on that person, creating this little quiet bubble just for the two of you. Okay, so why is this ISO play so much more effective than trying to muscle your way into a big group chat? Well, the real payoff is all about the psychology behind it. Let's look at the power you get when you focus on a single, genuine connection. Just look at this comparison. The typical big group approach is on the left. It's draining, it's superficial, it's high pressure, and your attention is scattered everywhere. Now, the ISO play completely flips that script. It's energizing because you're having a real conversation. It's genuine, totally low pressure, and completely focused. You go from feeling overwhelmed to actually feeling engaged. What a difference. And this really gets to the heart of it. You have to reframe your entire mission. You are not there to perform. You are not trying to win some imaginary most popular person award. You're just there to find one person and build a small human connection. That is it. That's the entire goal. The whole strategy is really built on this one simple idea: quality over quantity. One meaningful 5-minute conversation with one person is going to leave you feeling way more satisfied and successful than an hour of shouting 10 shallow hellos over loud music ever will. So that leaves us with a final thought to take with you. The next time you walk into a crowded room and you feel that familiar wave of anxiety, don't see it as a threat. See it as a field of opportunity. Look around and just ask yourself, who's going to be my next easy defender?